Hi, hi, and welcome to Global Education's mini expo series with our partners at INTO. We're so excited to have you join us today. And with me, I have my colleague Clarissa, who will be speaking to us about INTO Newcastle. Clarissa, thank you so much for joining. We are Global Education. We're an education agency based in Southern Africa, and we assist students with applications from start to finish of their process. So this includes the application process, helping you collect your documents and make sure that your documents are top-notch for your application process. We'll also help you with your accommodation and your visa. So Clarissa is going to take it away, give us some nice information about INTO Newcastle. And if you have any questions, please leave them to the end or put them in the chat box and we'll get to them at the end of the presentation. Thanks, Clarissa. It's all you.
Thank you so much. Can you see my presentation okay?
Yes, perfect.
Good. It's a pleasure to be here. So I'm Clarisse Almedia Davis, and I'm the Marketing Recruitment Manager at INTO Newcastle University. So we'll be talking about Newcastle, what it's like. I've actually been living in Newcastle for 12 years, and I think you will understand why I haven't left yet, and I have no plans on leaving, because I'll be sharing with you why it's such a lovely place to be, especially as a student at Newcastle University. I'm originally from Brazil, but I've been in the UK for 13 years, came to study, and basically never left and have no intention of leaving.
That's amazing. So I can say hola to you. Hola? Or is it buenos dias?
Well, that's more Spanish. You have to say bonjour.
Okay. Oh, okay. One more time.
Enough. So this is what I wanted to start with, is just to show you how lively, friendly, and a student city Newcastle is. Newcastle, it's called Newcastle upon Tyne because of this river Tyne, and it's very famous for the 7 bridges. You have a beautiful landmark over there, and obviously when it's New Year's, we have a lot of fireworks at the quayside. Students love this, the site, and you know, that being in the quayside at all times, night, day. There is a market that goes every Sunday. But I think the most interesting about Newcastle is that we have our campus in the city center, and it's one of the best student cities. But what one of the reasons why I haven't left, it's because of how friendly people in Newcastle are, and how affordable it is to live in Newcastle. So I've had friends, over the years who came to visit, and they always, one of them said to me, "Oh, but Newcastle is like the mini London." I think it's a bit of an over-exaggeration, but it is true that there is everything happening in Newcastle. So even though it's not a big city, such as London or Manchester, it is the infrastructure that we have in Newcastle, it is of a big city. Really loads happening, but in a compact city. So just to give you an idea where we are and how well connected we are with the rest of the UK, but also overseas, we do have an international airport, and it's only 20 minutes from the airport to campus. I am today on campus in the INTO building, and in front of me, I can see our metro station called Haymarket. So basically from the airport, you take the metro, and in 20 minutes you are here. So it couldn't really get more convenient than that. And we are also on the main line of the train. So in 3 hours, less than 3 hours, 2.5 or 3 hours, you are in London, 1.5 hours, you are in Edinburgh. And it's a beautiful coast route to Scotland and any other place in the UK. But we also have direct flights every day to Paris, Amsterdam. So it's a very, very, really easy, convenient way of arriving without having to go to such big airports like Heathrow or the ones in other parts of England. So as I mentioned before, we are a city center campus. You can see the INTO building, which is at just to the top right, which is at the forefront of the university campus. The thing I really love about the city center campus, first is, you cross the road, you have an M&S, you have a shopping center, you have everything at a 5-minute walk, which for international students really help, because they won't really just stay in their accommodation. They will be able to do meet friends and do things in the city. But also what I love is you see all these ancient buildings in front of here with the arches and the student union on your top left. But inside, they're very modern. So it is really beautiful how there is this mixture of heritage and modern architecture in the city and on campus. So this is just to give you an idea of what the city center looks like when we are talking about the city center campus. So like I said, it is very convenient. 10-20 minutes, you are everywhere. The Central Station, again, you can get a metro, and in less than 5 minutes, you are at Central Station to go to London or any other place in the UK. The business school to the main campus, it is less than 10-minute walk. From the business school, you can see the St. James Premier League Stadium. And, it is something we encourage students to do because it's lovely. It's actually the highest football stadium in the UK. So I always tell students, if you are by any chance lost, just look up, find the football stadium, you will find yourself. So our INTO building is on the main campus. And, one of the most important aspects of Newcastle University is the global reputation. So I hear a lot of students who tell me that they came to Newcastle because of the reputation, and then they fell in love with the city and the people, and they couldn't imagine being anywhere else. But it is also the fact that we are a Russell Group University. We are top 25 in the UK, and we are top 150 in the QS World Rankings. So Russell Group means Ivy League. So it is about the power of the research done in Newcastle and in very top universities in the UK. It's top 5 in terms of student satisfaction. Like I said before, students really love being here. And it's awarded 5 stars for student employability, because it is, there is a lot that the university gives to help students to make them even more employable than simply having a degree. And that's why it is targeted by leading employers as well. Just to give you an overview of some of the subjects that are, outstanding as well: agriculture, art and design, dentistry, media, marketing. The business school has got triple accreditation, and when only 1% of the business schools worldwide will have this. And this is very important, because it's not only about the teaching or the research, it's about the student experience as a whole, including employability, links to companies. And I think the most important is not just having this, it's keeping this year after year, that it's the case with our Newcastle University Business School. Just to give you an overview of how the university works, the university is divided into 3 faculties: humanities, SAGE for science, agriculture, and the medical science. And within each of these faculties, you will have different schools with different degrees. So for example, the humanities and social sciences, it's where the business school is, the arts and culture school. And for example, there is a degree in the humanities faculty called combined honors, that it's similar but not really, just to give you an idea, like the major and minor in some of the US universities. But the combined honors, you get the same credits for both or 3 degrees. So for example, we do have students doing politics and marketing. So you can combine within those schools, which is something really interesting for students. The science, agriculture, the SAGE, and engineering, again, all the possibilities of engineering studies, the natural and environmental science as well, computing, maths, physics, it's all within that faculty. And within the medical science, it's the biomedical, the dental, all the research, including now the sport and exercise science that they've just redone the school, the building. So in terms of applying to Newcastle University, I think it's important to just give you an overview of the entry requirements. So if you come through INTO Newcastle University and do a pathway, what is a pathway? It is when you haven't done the A-levels or you haven't got maybe the score in your IB to go directly, because the score for IB is quite high for Newcastle University. So you can come and do a foundation. I actually had an interesting story of one student who was doing IB, and she was determined that she was going to get the grade and she was going to go for biomedical sciences directly, but she came to visit. And I showed her around the INTO building. She met the teachers. She was very impressed, but she was sure she wanted to come to Newcastle University. When it got to applying and the final results, she didn't get the grade because she missed one subject that she needed to have, and she hadn't realized. So her option was to do an international foundation. And at first she wasn't very sure because she thought, oh, it's just going to be a repetition of high school, of my IB. But actually, once she started, she actually discovered that it wasn't at all what she expected, because it was really a preparation for her studies in undergraduate at Newcastle University. But she also understood better about all the options in the biomedical science and realized that biomedical science wasn't what she wanted to do. So she changed to psychology and sports science. So that's what she's doing now, and she's very, very happy. So, the foundation is not only about having the entry requirements that are lower, but it's also giving the students time to adjust, to get the right support as international students, but also to really understand where they want to go from there. Because our international foundation will cover all these faculties, all these schools I mentioned to you before. We also have an international year one. So if you already have, a higher IB, or you have good IELTS and you've done 1 year of university, you might also come and do an international year one. And the graduate diploma, which is the pre-master before you come to do your master's. So just to give you the overview of the programs we have at INTO Newcastle University. So basically for the International Foundation, we cover all those degrees and faculties I mentioned before, apart from dentistry and medicine that are very competitive within the UK and even more for international students. So there aren't the International Foundation for those. But for architecture, for business, for media, engineering, any computing, we have the foundation you will need before you can do the 3 years degree at Newcastle University. Or the international year one, we also have architecture, business, and engineering. Engineering is starting in September next year. And engineering is only a September start, but the other courses, including the pre-masters in architecture, business, or humanities, we also offer in January. And it's not a fast track. It's the same 3-term course, but you will, instead of finishing in June, students finish in August. So it is a fast track in the sense that you will need 3.5 years to complete a degree, for instance. This is our lovely INTO Newcastle University building. This is where I'm at the moment in one of our classrooms. It was purposely built for international students to come and do what we call this soft landing to their UK education. And you know, I've been here, I've worked for INTO for over 5 years now. And one thing I always hear from students is how they feel home in the INTO building. And it's a lot to do with, you know, this support and how they love this building and where they make their first friends. And it always feels like home to them because it's where it always started, where they gained the confidence to move on to Newcastle University. So just talking a little bit about the accommodation and student experience, we have just behind the INTO building that I just showed you, we have our INTO accommodation, which is 24/7 security. There is always someone from the security team on site. We also have a housekeeping services, so it's not only the common areas that are cleaned every day, but every week the students' rooms are also cleaned, which helps a lot to keep everything, you know, in check, but also make sure that students are being looked after, the well-being is in check, because we have a student experience team if they need anything. The main thing about INTO, you know, is the support, because you are in a small classroom of 15 students, and this will help you to gain what I mentioned before, the confidence, the trust to go into, you know, Newcastle University in a bigger classroom with a little bit of less support, but you've had at the beginning, and that is the main thing for international students that we've seen over the years. In terms of the student experience on campus, I showed you before the photo of the Students' Union, and it's something our students at INTO and any Newcastle University student will really take advantage of, is being part of the Student Union, because they have over 160 societies and sports clubs. And if you are really, you know, if you excel in your sports, you can also join the leagues team of the university. There is a new sports center that was spent over £50 million to redo it. And in terms of the Students' Union, we have a lot of, for example, you will find societies like the Hispanic Society, that they will do a lot of Latin American parties, or you will maybe join tennis or leadership. There's so many societies that I'm sure you will find a hobby or something you're really interested in outside your studies, to make friends and to understand more about the culture and the society and the community in the UK. There's a lot of volunteering as well going on with the Students' Union. They can help you, you know, with finding a volunteering job, which really helps to gain skills that you will be able to use it in your career in the future. Our career service at Newcastle University also offers this help from, you know, understanding yourself about what you want to do, you know, from your studies into your career, also helping you with not only, you know, jobs, part-time jobs while you study, but also with, you know, the process of building a CV, and also helping with interview and applications. This is a short video of what the university looks like. You know, you've seen some photos, but just from above, what the city and the, you know, the quayside I mentioned before, how lovely it is. Newcastle, you know, we say that we have really good lungs in the city because there's a lot of green areas around the city, and we are only 20 minutes metro to the coast. So you can actually, you saw the photo of the beach there, you can actually enjoy, and it's something that people really get surprised by, that when you take the metro in 20 minutes, you can actually go and be on the coast line. And it's beautiful because it is not, it's not rocks, it's actually normal sand, beautiful sand, but surrounded by castles. So it is a lovely place to be. I will finish with showing you this video of our students telling us because why they chose Newcastle. And I think it does really summarize why first they're very happy to be here. Some of the points I said about the city, the university, and the experience. So it's very short.
I chose Newcastle because INTO Newcastle has great staff support for students. The teachers are really friendly and they give you a lot of help during studies. And the support that they gave me during international year one was really thorough.
I chose Newcastle because of the university. It's a very good university for its works, and the city is a lovely city to live in.
I looked at the website, and there's a lot of activities and societies that offer in Newcastle. There's a balance between life and university life. I choose Newcastle because of the high standard of education. I really like the community here. Everyone is super friendly. It was a very student-friendly city, and it was very compact, so everything was near me, and I could access everything.
Well, it's pretty clear right there. I don't need to say why. The city's beautiful. This is like one of the normal places in the city. This is not the best place. And it's that good looking. The university is amazing. The whole place is beautiful. I guess that's why I chose Newcastle, because it's the place I want to spend 4 years in.
Yeah. So I hope this gave you an idea. It is one thing that I hear a lot from students. It's how convenient it is to be in Newcastle, and they love the nightlife because it's very intense. But it's there's so much to do because you can also enjoy the countryside. That it's very accessible as well. So yeah, it is a place that people really enjoy being a student and getting a good degree from Newcastle. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Clarissa. It's actually so nice to see students giving their own feedback, and what wonderful feedback that was. I've actually been to Newcastle myself, so I can echo what that last student said about how beautiful the city is. So thank you for that. I actually have a few questions I wanted to ask. So we know that INTO deals mostly with pathways. How does the student life in Newcastle differ for students who are doing a pathway versus direct entry?
There is no difference because INTO is a joint venture with Newcastle University, which means we are part of the university. We are owned by the university as well. So students, when they arrive and they are starting with us, they will have an INTO Newcastle web email address because there is no difference between them and this the students who progressed.
Yes.
So they will have access to everything I mentioned, from the career service to the student union, the library, everything, because there is no difference whatsoever. It's the same campus, everything. The only is likely difference will be the fact that they will start in this building, in a smaller classroom, in a small setting, before they progress to their classes when they start their degree or postgraduate degree.
Yes, but also I think a benefit of that is they still get to start, once they've progressed from their foundation into their degree program, they're still starting with students in their age group. They've just had the added benefit of support and getting that academic pre-run so that they're best prepared for when they actually start their degree.
And I think, one thing that we hear a lot is I've had students, who could have gone directly, but they chose to come and do the year one with us. And the reason for that was because of that support. Because they know as international students, at first, you do need support. And I know this and you know this because this is, something that, we as international students, it's not that we are different, it's not that we are special. It is just that we are settling into a new culture, a new language, a new educational system. That it takes a bit of time and a bit of support as well. So it's just a transition. It's not really about, I'm not good enough or why do I need this? No, it is something to really help you settle in, because you can feel very homesick. You can feel quite lonely in a very big class. You don't know how to make friends. And the difference is when students come to Newcastle and they come to INTO first, all students will be going through the same. They have left their parents, their home country. So it is very, very easy to make friends, because you can really relate to those students. That it might be that if you go directly, you might feel a bit out, because you're not a UK-based student.
Yes.
And also, it is what I said before, it's about building your confidence. So once you mix with all the UK students, you know exactly where you sit, and you feel better than them, because you've embraced and you have gone through so much since arriving.
Definitely. And I often find it can be a misconception, but the feedback from parents who've sent their students through the pathway, they're so much happy that they have taken that route, and students definitely feel a lot more prepared, and you see them coping academically and socially a lot better. So it's a fantastic route, I think. In terms of the mode of delivery, I know that the UK is now open for students to travel to, but for any students who are still having issues with visas or traveling because of COVID, INTO is still offering an online delivery. Am I correct?
Yes, so we are still, very much in the belief that every country is different. We can't expect everyone to be able to come because of, of visa issues or COVID issues. So we are still delivering online and face-to-face. So basically, if the student decides that they need or they want to start online, they can then next term come face-to-face if that's possible, if that's what they would like to do. But they can also keep going online. And I want to show you this, I don't know if you can see this classroom that I'm in. We also have, so this is a smart blackboard. And one of the things we do with the blackboard is to have high flex classes. And what this is students who are doing online, they take part in the classes as well.
Okay.
So obviously not every class, because obviously it will depend on their time zones as well. But at least some of the classes that, it's really useful to have more interaction. They take high flex class, so they, all the face-to-face and the online students can be in one classroom as well.
Okay, great. And then in terms of accommodation, if the student is starting online, they can postpone their accommodation until they're able to come onto campus?
That's also, yes, we understand that, this, unfortunately, we have very little control at the time of what's going to happen. So we need to be very flexible, and we do everything we can, to increase the flexibility. So students don't feel, they're trapped now with a contract. They can actually postpone and come later.
Yes. Okay. And then I just have my last question for you. What do you think Newcastle's course specialty is? I know that there are so many options that students can choose from, but what do you think maybe something that can sometimes go underrated or underexplored, a course that Newcastle offers that you are particularly fond of?
I think it's the engineering, I think, like I mentioned, the business school is very powerful. There is so much going on in the business school, but I think the engineering school is one that offers so much, from marine engineering, to very specific. You do 4 years with a master's, that it's very unique. And they've just put a lot of money on building a new school with, very state-of-art labs and facilities that I think, I really see in the next year or so, it will be, a great place to be, and, an amazing opportunity for students to be here studying engineering and taking advantage of the post-study visa, the graduate scheme, and start their career in the UK. And we also have a science central in Newcastle with a lot of companies as well for students to take advantage of. So
great. internship
Just in
opportunities.
general, from engineering to computing, I think it is a great place to be.
Thank you so much, Clarisse. This has been so informative, and it's been so nice to interact with you and to learn a lot more about INTO Newcastle. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us today.
I
And
look
yeah,
forward to
thank you,
welcoming
everyone.
all of you as soon as possible.
Great. Have a wonderful day.
You too.
Bye.